KA1ULN. Michelle, looks like you're running the net. Looks like Catherine is still driving up to Dayton. KA1ULN.
KA1ULN, this is W5MQC. Nisi, it sounded to me like you were the one running the net. Back to you.
Negatory. Nope. They all are probably in Dayton somewhere or somewhere together, and they forgot about what time it is. I don't know. I can text Catherine, or I don't know, Lauren. Lauren, can you get Catherine?
Well, hello everybody. I'm here. Just getting my laptop moved to another room where I have better internet signal and hopefully won't have some drop packets. So bear with me just one more minute and we will kick this off. AC4YL. Okay, here we go. Welcome, ladies, to the YL OpNet. This is Catherine, AC4YL. Net control for this evening's net. We meet every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Echolink ALARA Conference node. Be sure to invite all YLs you know to join us. We do ask that only YLs or licensed female amateur radio operators check in and participate. The purpose of this net is to encourage you to become and stay active with amateur radio, help each other improve our operating knowledge and skills, and have fun. For more ham fun between weekly nets, please visit the YL OpNet Facebook group and the YLOpsGroups.io group. During the net, be sure to join us in the NFARL Do Drop In chat room by opening any web browser and going to nfarl.dodropin.org. Just put your name-call sign in the box and then click Log In. YLs who would like to check in, give us your call sign, name, and current location. And don't forget there is a 3 to 4 second delay when transmitting through Echolink. This is Catherine, AC4YL. We will now begin taking check-ins. Please call now.
KA7SKY, Sky and Gardner, Washington. CAPKY, Linda in Dayton, Ohio today. KW1YL, Brenda, New Haven.
KC9YL in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay, very good. Let's start with those check-ins, and then we have quite a few other folks here with us. So if you have not checked in yet, don't worry. You will have just an opportunity in just a moment. So we have Sky, KA7SKY, joining us from Washington. Linda, KC8PKY, hanging out there in Dayton. Margaret, AE7MB, out there in Washington. Good evening. Brenda, KW1YL, joining us from Connecticut this evening. Good evening. And Ann, KC9YL, also hanging out there in Dayton, Ohio. So we've got several other ladies here with us, so please do check in with us here. Just give us your call sign, your first name, and your current location. This is AC4YL.
W5MQC, Michelle in Oklahoma.
All right. Good evening, Michelle. W5MQC. Very good. I do see Debbie, VA3OYL, from Hamilton, Ontario, here with us. I'm not sure if she's having some Echolink issues, but good evening, Debbie. We have you in the log. It looks like we have Lauren is not going to be able to stay here with us. She's on the phone right now, so she'll be listening later, but it looks like she's able to get this recorded for us this evening, so thank you very much, Lauren. We appreciate that. And let's see, do we have any of the YLs out there in the Greater Virginia, Bedford, Greater Virginia area there that would like to check in with us this evening? We'd like to hear from you as well. Just give us your call sign, your first name, and your location. So anyone out there in Virginia who'd like to check in, please go ahead.
I'm not in Virginia. I'm in the UK. M082T. Jenny.
Kilo Alpha 1, United Lima, November. I'm in Andover, Mass., not in Dayton, Ohio. Back to net.
WA4YL, Dawn in Hudson, Florida.
All right, cool. Nice group. So Jenny, M0HZT, joining us from the UK, and Nisi, KA1ULN, glad to hear you. It's been a few weeks now, and I know you've probably been busy, but it's great to hear your voice there, Nisi, and I'm glad you made it this evening out there in Massachusetts. And Dawn, WA4YL, joining us from good old state of Florida. So very good. Okay. So again, nice group this evening. I know a lot of the gals are in Dayton. Some of you have probably seen Katie's live footage of the setup that they're doing over there for HRO, as we like to say here, Ham Radio Outlet, HRO. So, got to keep her busy, right? So, for you gals in Dayton, be sure and go up to see her and give her a hard time for myself. And Melanie, who we couldn't make it up there this year, so give her a hard time for us, and probably for Dawn there too, since Dawn hadn't gotten a chance to see her since Orlando either. So be sure and give Katie a hard time from the Wild OpNet group here. All right, with that, let's go ahead and open it up to you gals there in Dayton, Linda or Ann. I guess we'll go to Linda first, and then we can go to Ann, because you gals might want to I don't know how long you will be staying on, hopefully the entire net, but if you got to go, at least you'll get a chance to pop in here and tell us what your plans are up there in Dayton. If you have any special forums that you plan on attending or any particular items you plan on perusing and purchasing, or any other things outside of the Hamfest that you might be doing in addition to while you're out that way. So let's go to Linda first, and then we'll pop over to Ann. So Linda, please go ahead, KC8PKY.
Okay, here we go. Well, yeah, I plan on hitting the, of course, the YL booth and the YLRL forum. And we got in here earlier today, so we spent a good part of the day over at the Air Force Museum, which was quite interesting because we hadn't been there in probably 30 years. So other than that, we'll probably just wander around for a while, and we'll be here tomorrow and part of Saturday, and then we head to Indianapolis, and Sunday we go to the time trials at Indy. So this is our weekend for travel. And with that, I will turn it back to you. This lets me out.
All right, awesome, Linda. Well, sounds like y'all have a nice full weekend planned, and WB1ARU has also joined us. Good evening, Ann. We're just passing it to the gals in Dayton, so that way, if they can't stay for the entire net, at least they can say hello and tell us what the weekend plans are. So let's go to Ann KC9YL and hear what your plans are for the weekend, Ann.
Thank you, Catherine. Had a nice drive down here today. 485 miles, though, is a little bit long for one person to drive. I kind of found that out, that it wasn't too bad. No really incidents along the way, and my GPS got here, no wrong turns, so staying at the Crown Plaza downtown. So very nice hotel. So looking forward to heading downstairs to the reception hospitality suite later. And I think they have pizza and wings at 10:30, but I don't think I'll be able to stay up quite that long for that. I'm planning on helping out in the YLRL booth and have about 8 different forums that I am interested in going to see and about 30 different booths that I have. I pre-printed maps off the internet and was just kind of deciding where I was going to go. So there's some certainly must-see spots, and then I'll be able to fill in. So looks like we might be doing more inside than outside this year, but apparently that's the way it goes in Dayton. Back to net, this is KC9YL.
All right, very good, Ann. Awesome. Glad you made it down that way safely. And yeah, that's quite a trek, especially to do by yourself. And you know, one nice thing is if you got a mobile rig in your car, 14652, and just riding down the road, just every so often, just throw your car out there and say you're monitoring, and who knows, somebody in the area within range of your transceiver will be able to hear you, pick you up, and maybe come back to you, and you have a nice little chat on the radio and kind of pass some time there. That's fun. So cool. Glad you made it there safely, Ann. Sounds like you're going to be very busy, and I hope you brought your walking shoes, and I saw your funny post there on Facebook about parking at the high school. That was a great one. Little Toy Story picture. Awesome. All right, very good. Well, hope you have a lot of fun there, Ann, and catch up with the gals there. Let's pass it over to WB1ARU, Ann, and hear about what your plans are for the weekend, what you guys plan on doing, any forums you plan on attending. I know you'll be sure you'll be at the YL forum, and then most likely at the YLRL booth for some, if not most of the time there. But would love to hear what other plans you and your other half might have there. And WB1ARU, please go ahead. AC4YL in the net.
Oh, okay, now I've got a microphone here. Good evening. This is WB1ARU with Centerville, Ohio, or South Dayton, depending on what address book you're looking at, I guess. I believe it's Centerville, but the address is South Dayton. So, I don't know how they do this down here. But anyhow, we traveled majority of the way yesterday from Massachusetts, stayed just east of Cleveland in Paynesville, Ohio last night, and then drove down to the hotel this noontime. We were down here about 1 o'clock, I guess, and went over to the fairgrounds and got the booth semi set up and checked in, got all the credentials and passes and everything. Yes, I am listed as the moderator of the forum, but we have two speakers, Nancy, KC4IYD, and Val, Holtzfield, N9. Oh, I always mess up her call sign. NV9L, is that right? Something like that. I always mess it up. But anyway, they are both speaking at the forum, and we're also going to promote the YLRL convention and have time for people to meet and greet. We hope we're going to fit all this in an hour, take a group picture and post it and so forth. So Carol Lafferty's going to be here. She's coming up tomorrow. Ann's here. I'm here. And a bunch of other folks. I hope. Linda, I hear you're here, so that's good. Looking forward to seeing you. And our new digs are inside. No wet tent this year. We're going to be in the building right next door to ALARA. The Canadians are next to us, and the Germans, and couple of commercial, Flex, ICOM are both in the same building as we are. It's building 2. It's in the middle of everything. The forum is back over behind the grandstand, same room we were in last year. It's a great room. It's air conditioned. And I'm hoping that the rain's going to blow through and it's not going to be too wet. It's been only a few showers here. So with that, keep it, before I time out here, shut my mouth and listen. WB1ARU.
All right, awesome, Ann. Yeah, sounds like it's going to be a nice packed weekend for all you gals there. So be sure and take lots of pictures, share them on all the Facebook groups, and don't forget you can also post your photos over in the groups.io YL Ops group as well. There are some gals over there that have not been on this net before, and so they might like to see those photos as well and hear about your experiences at Dayton. And that's exciting having Val do a presentation there for the forum there, Ann. That's great. And you had her call sign correct, NV9L, so very good. Awesome. All right, well, let's see. Before I forget to mention, Melanie's also here with us, a G4YL. She's been here, but I forgot to mention her earlier, so I don't want to forget to do that. She's here with us, so nice group tonight. And so do we have any other YLs on that may be short time that would like to come in and say hello or share anything that you have for the group? We want to make sure we give you a chance to do that before you have to go off to perhaps some other ham radio activities. I know some of you have some club meetings or Aries meetings and the like on Thursday evening, so you're not always able to stay. So if any other YL is short time, please throw your call out here. We'll give you a chance to say hello to the group and any other comments or questions or anything that you have for us here. So please go ahead, AC4YL. Okay, cool. Not hearing anyone, so I guess you are all here for the duration. We'll randomly call on Jenny to help keep her awake. Just kidding, Jenny. Hope you're doing well over there, and I hope your OM is doing well and things are still progressing positively. So hope things are going well for you, and please give our best to your other half there. And Dawn, I hope you're feeling better, and you're continuing on the mend, so we're glad to have you back with us again this week. So with that, we're talking about Dayton, we're talking about Hamfest, and so I have a question for the group. Melanie actually came up with this one, so we'll give her kudos for this topic, which is rather fitting, considering it's Dayton weekend. And for those of you that may not be familiar with what that is, it's a ham radio. It's the largest ham fest in the United States that takes place every year during the month of May. So a lot of folks try to make it to Dayton. There are actually people that fly in from around the world to attend this major ham convention here in the United States. So if you have not made it there, that might be something you can put on your bucket list. Make it to Dayton/Xenia at least once. It's a huge, huge ham fest. I believe there will be some live feed. There's usually several groups that do a live feed. I know Katie will most likely post some live Facebook videos. She usually does, and I think Bob with the ARRL sometimes posts them. I think Ham Nation might do something. There it is, Nisi. Thank you. I couldn't think of it. W5KUB does a live feed as well. So if you can't physically be there, there'll be a lot of live feeds and recordings that you can catch up on, and I'm sure they most likely have a lot of them listed on the site. Just do a Google search for Dayton Hamvention. Let me pause for a reset. Okay, so that's a roundabout way of getting back to the subject here. So Melanie had an idea, since it's Dayton weekend, and we already caught up with the gals who are there in Dayton, but to find out what their plans are. But do you attend Hamfest is the question. Have you or have you not attended a Hamfest or many? Do you, when you go, do you go to kind of local, smaller Hamfests, or do you tend to try to attend larger Hamfests? And so those are some questions there to kind of get you thinking about it. And when you go to Hamfest, what kind of activities do you like to do? Do you love to hang out there in the tailgate boneyard area and shop for some used gear, or do you prefer to attend the forums and catch up on some new stuff and information there, or do you just like to browse around to the different vendors, or all of the above? So, you know, tell us if you attend Hamfest and what you like to do when you go, and which ones that you like to attend. So what we'll do is we'll kind of go in order here by check-ins. We'll start that way to give everybody a chance to say that. And after you answered that, give us some information on your Hamfest experiences. If you have any other comments for the group, please go ahead and take that opportunity to do that as well. Just be mindful of timing out if you don't have your Echo Link set up to time you there. So let's start with Sky, K7SKY, out there in Washington. Sky, do you attend Hamfest? And if you do, what do you like to do when you are there? K7SKY, AC4YL in the group.
K7SKY. The first and only one I've ever attended was last year at CPAC here in Oregon. And I went specifically to walk the floor for the most part. And I got my ICOM 7300 and all the accoutrements that go with that. So it was an expensive weekend, but quite fun. Spent a lot of time at the YL booth and met a lot of fun people and attended a few of the seminars. And I'm going to miss it this year. So, and sorry, I'm going to miss Dayton. Someday I'm going to get back there, and of course, that someday I want to do the Hamcation in Orlando. So those are my bucket lists. Anyway, that's about all I have. Back to net, K7SKY.
All right, awesome, Sky. Well, very good sure and let us know when you're going to hit Orlando. Try to make that every year, and Melanie and I tend to tag team and hit Orlando together, and we like to hang out with Dawn and Katie and several other YLs down there that live in the area as well. So be sure and let us know when you head down that way, and we don't want to miss you. I think Andrea was there this past year, and I think Rhea was there, and so there was a nice group that tries to hit Orlando. So you'll have to come down and hang out with all of us. All right, let's go back over to Linda and just see if Linda had anything to add to this. I know you might be, busy trying to chillax there, getting ready for Dayton. But Linda, if you had any other comments or anything else you want to say about your Hamfest experience, please go ahead. KC at PKY, AC4YL at the group.
There it is. It wasn't going to let me in for a minute there. Yeah, we've been to Dayton quite a few times now since, probably in the last 10 years or so. We've been quite a few, almost every year. And that's probably my favorite. We used to go quite a bit. There were a lot of them in Michigan, and we'd hit those. And just wander around. Most of the time I just wander around and look at things and drool over the new stuff and the stuff we can't afford, as we all do. But it's just a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to see people that you don't see all the time. I'm hoping to run into some of our friends from back in Detroit that we haven't seen in a while this year. So that's about the way we do it. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to you so I don't time it out.
All right, very good, Linda. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys have a great time, and it was really nice to be able to catch up and meet you last year. And sorry to miss this year, but hey, well, our goal is to get back next year and hopefully catch up with you guys then, if not another event before then. So awesome. Thanks, Linda. All right, Margaret, how about you, AE7MB? You like to attend Hamfest, and if so, which ones do you like to go to, and what activities do you like to do there, Margaret? A7MB, AC4YL with the group. Maybe we lost Margaret. YL paging Margaret, AE7MB. Maybe she had to step away. Let's try one more time just to make sure we don't miss her if she was trying to transmit and had some issues. AE7MB, if you'd like to come in and tell us what Hamfest you like to attend, come on in. AE7MB, AC4YL with the group. Okay, I think we might have lost Margaret. She might be busy trying to do some other things, so no worries at all. And Carol, VA3WHU, has joined us. Good evening, Carol. Looks like she just arrived at their place to stay for the weekend. And so, Carol, we will catch up with you in just a minute here. Actually, let's go ahead, if you like, Carol, and want to come on in, because you probably are ready to settle in there. So if you'd like to come in and just tell us about your plans for the weekend there. I think you're in Dayton as well, and we'd love to hear about if you plan on attending some forums or just doing some browsing around or all of the above. So, Carol, tell us what your plans are for the weekend. I'm glad you guys made it there safely. VA3WHU, AC4YL in the group.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Hotel Uniform. Good evening, ladies. Yes, we have just arrived here at the Roadway Inn in Fairborn. Came through some rain showers on the way down, but for the main it was a lovely day. We stopped 3 times on our way down. Lots of traffic, lots of tomorrow. The one in the morning where I hope to get together with Ria. And the second one is an afternoon YL forum that I'm really looking forward to that one, to meeting the YLs that are down here this weekend. So the weather is what it is. I don't know if it's going to be the greatest. I just hope for the flea market vendors that the sun shines on them, because that's a tough road to hoe when the weather's not very good. So looking forward to this. This is my first Hamfest, and of course, yes, I'm going to be enjoying looking around at all the different exhibits and hopefully meeting up with some wonderful people while I'm down here, and trying to make as many contacts as I can. So I'm going to say 73s, and I'll listen on the side. Thank you. Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Hotel Uniform in the group.
All right, very good, Carol. Well, glad you guys made it safely there, and sounds like you got some forum time lined up. And yeah, it's a big ham fest, so I'm sure you'll have plenty of walking to do there. And again, if anybody, I know Katie's not on tonight, but you can usually find Katie, WY7YL, over near the HRO, Ham Radio Outlet booth. She's usually over there. She's not roaming around all over the place grabbing people for interviews and photos and doing all that fun marketing stuff that she does. So if you're looking for her, that's going to be your best bet to find Katie. So you don't want to miss her, saying hello to her. So we've had some other gals come in and join us as well. We've had Ann, KC1CRS, joining us this evening. And we have April, VE3BHG, joining us from Canada. Good evening, April. And we have Ann, W1AYL. So this is the net for Ann's tonight. And YL calls. So what a combination. Fantastic. All right. So let's go back up to our list here. Let's see. Brenda's up next, KW1YL. So Brenda, what Hamfest have you attended, and what do you like to do when you attend Hamfest? You do forums, flea market, shop around, all of the above? We'd love to hear from you, Brenda. KW1YL, AC4YL in the group.
This is Brenda, KW1YL, and I'm in Connecticut. And the Hamfest that I've attended that's the farthest away from me is the Fall Deer Fest in Deerfield, New Hampshire. And my OM and I have gone to that for the past 4 years, every year. And so I love that Hamfest because we camp out in our van overnight and for 2 nights, and it's just wonderful. And I like everything. I like to go to the forums, and I also like to look around and being there and just, you know, the whole thing, everything, no special one thing. And we also go to local Hamfest, well, not local, but in Connecticut. There's one in Southington every year. There's one in Meriden every year. There's one in Newtown every year. Those are all in Connecticut. And the last one that I went to in Southington, I passed out YLRL pamphlets as Nisi, my district manager, requested. And so I had fun doing that, looking for YLs to give a leaflet to. So that was it. And Dayton is on my bucket list. So that's about it for me. KW1YL, back to net control.
very good, Brenda. Well, awesome. Thanks for coming in and telling us about your Hamfest experience. And yes, keep Dayton on your bucket list. And it's not terribly far for you there. And you do like Ann and Tony and make it kind of a break up their drive there, so you don't have that lengthy drive to do. But very good. Glad to hear from you, Brenda. And thanks so much for coming in. Let's check back with Ann, KC9YL. She's still there. If she had any additional comments on her Hamfest experiences that she wants to come in and tell us about. KC9YL, AC4YL in the group.
Good evening again. The only Hamfests I've really gone to are little swap meet things that are hosted by one of the local clubs that I belong to in northeast Wisconsin, so this is certainly way above and beyond anything that I have ever possibly seen. So really looking forward to it. I do go to the W9DXCC convention every year. They have a small amount of vendors, and they do have Contest University and DX University classes on Friday, but this is still going to be just above anything that I've ever dreamed about. So looking forward to seeing it. I've got several people that I know that are swap meet people that are going to have booths, so looking forward to seeing them and just getting a chance to meet with 2 out of 3 for sure of my CW Ops teachers are going to be here, so I'm going to be looking forward to meeting them, as well as some of the YLs that I just have never met in person. So just kind of looking for everything and anything. Back to net, this is KC9YL.
All right, very good, Ann. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you'll be able to connect with some folks up there this year, and hopefully you gals that are out there this year will make it again next year and be able to catch up with you then. And again, please, everybody at Dayton there, please remember, take some photos, do some live video feeds on Facebook, get the gals together and take some photos. And for those of us that aren't going to make it this year, we'd love to kind of experience at least part of that with you. So thanks, Ann. Glad to hear you, and hope you have a blast. Let's go to Michelle, W5MQC out there in Oklahoma. What about your Hamfest experiences, Michelle? W5MQC, AC4YL in the group.
Well, good evening, ladies. W5MQC Michelle. Pretty much all of the Hamfests that I have attended, I have done having a booth, the YLRL booth, and I've gone everything from little ones to big ones, so just not Dayton yet. And HamCom is coming up. I think it's June 9th. We'll have a booth there, and we'll have a YL forum as well. And we're going to try and do gather some of the ladies and call CQ from the Ecom trailer with Emmett. So we have a lot of fun. We try to make it a lot of fun. Try to get together and break some bread with everybody, and everybody learn a little bit. So that's about my experience. I've done the Ham Holiday, HamCom. I've done the Hamorama, and there's one in Elk City. It's a tiny little one. So they're all fun. It's great to meet people. I love meeting people, especially a lot of the old timers, and just love listening to their stories. Everybody has such a great story to tell, and it's really enjoyable. Back to you, Catherine, W5MQC.
All right, well, fantastic, Michelle. And you'll have to remind us again when you gals do get together at HamCon, if you're able to do that and get on the air and call CQ. Remind us of when, and don't forget to spot yourselves on the spotting networks, so we can catch up with you and try to work you gals there. I think you said June 9th or thereabouts. So keep us posted on that. Just remind us, and if you would like, I think you are on the groups.io Wild Ops group. If you like, if you can get the info, just do a reply to Melanie's pinned post on the calendar items. Put a post there with any additional information, and we will get it on the calendar so we can put a reminder up for that so that the gals can look for you. So, for those of us that can't attend in person, right? So fantastic. Well, thanks, Michelle. It's good to hear you this evening as well. Fantastic. All right. Next up, we have Jenny, M0HZT, and she's typing, which is good because that means she's staying awake so far. So, Jenny, M0HZT, what about your Hamfest experience over there across the pond? Please go ahead from AC4YL in the group.
Yeah, M0HZT here. My OM has just asked to ask you, what is it?
What do the initials YL stand for? I seem to recall it's Yak-a-lot, is it? I'm not certain. Please clarify, could you?
And he did say as well that he had to get his beauty sleep. I laugh at that one. Anyway, I'm digressing. We have them. Each radio club has them over here. Nearly all. You go up to Newark each year, and you'll find me on the ALARA stand. Is that right, Anne? I'm a staunch, not behind the table. I can't work with a table between me. I've got to kind of, I like to be, well, you can't recruit new members if you're behind a table. You know where all your stuff is, your pens, what have you, and that's the way I like to work. The hands-on approach thing. But say all the rallies, as we call them over here, apart from Newark, we shut up. I got to cure Mexico.
You are moving.
Back to you.
Victor Alpha 3 Whiskey Hotel uniform. Carol, I forgot to mention another thing about Dayton Hamvention this year. I have tickets to go to the Flex Banquet tomorrow night, so I'm real excited about that, to meet everybody associated with Flex Radio. Did forget to mention that one. Over.
All right, very good, Carol. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming back in and sharing that with us. And I think we're going to have to separate Jenny and Murphin. You guys are awesome. Oh man, too funny. So cool. All right. So Jenny always helping give the push for ALARA, of course. That only makes sense. So back to Murphin's question about YL. I'm sure Jenny could tell you what YL stands for, but we'll come back to that in a minute because we don't want to miss out on anybody having a chance to tell us about their Hamfest attendance. So we'll circle back around to that. Nisi, K-A-1-U-L-N. You're up. Hamfest you like to attend, and what do you like to do when you go? I notice no one has yet to mention the wonderful food options at these events. Anyway, over to you there, Nisi. K1ULN, AC4YL in the group.
All right. KA1ULN, Nisi. I really enjoy sitting at the YLRL table and meeting new YLs, and actually seeing over the we have 2 Hamfests a year, and it's actually very cool to see a YL walk by. I give them a harmonics, which is the YLRL publication. I give them one, and then the next time, the next 6 months, the next ham show, if you will, I see the YL, and she got her license. And most of the time, a couple of times, it was because, I approached her. I try not to let any YL walk past me without giving them a harmonics. I just want to say that KC9YL, Ann, she is incredibly wicked awesome. She drove that whole way by herself. Amazing. I don't know if I would do that. You are so brave, Ann. Wow. So Rhea and Andrea they got there early today. I'm surprised they're not on the net. I'm sure they're walking around, and they actually, all the people in Dayton, you have to see them. You'll figure out Andrea's rover, her mobile. She actually has a rotator. She has a rotator, and she gets some very high frequency antennas, beams on her rover. I'm sure you should look at it on QRZ if you haven't seen the car. Kilo 2 Echo Zulu. Look at her car, and I think Rhea drove the whole way. I feel so bad. I would have loved to have gone with them. I really would have loved to have gone this year with them. I think this year is going to be a great year. Maybe one year all YLs will show up together. Okay, don't want to time out. One more thing, my next door neighbor who said, I'll never be a ham. I heard that she's in Dayton right now, and she's going to take her test Saturday. KA1ULN, back to net.
All right, Nisi, awesome, cool stuff, and yeah, you can't miss Andrea's rover vehicle. If you see a vehicle that looks a bit like a spaceship, that's Andrea's vehicle there. So it's awesome, it really is. So feel free to ask. I'm sure she'll give you a tour. Hi, depending on where she ends up parking. All right, very good. Well, thanks, Nisi. It's great to hear you this evening, and so glad you're here with us. And you're right, maybe we can all make it to Dayton one year. Wouldn't that be awesome? That would really be something. All right, Dolan, WA4YL, let's pass it over to you, and tell us how you're doing and what hamfests you like to go to. I know you go to some of the more local ones there, too, and I think you help out with some VE testing. So, Dawn, please go ahead, WA4YL, AC4YL with the group.
This is WA4YL. I've gotten a hamcation 8 times already. That's showing my 9th time. And I've helped with the YL booths. I had the pleasure of seeing Andrea's rover, and that was an awesome sight to see this year. And I enjoyed hanging out with Catherine, Melanie, and Katie, and all the other women around that were there. And the hamburgers are to die for.
All right, cool, Dawn. Well, awesome. Well, very good. And hope you're doing well. You sound good. So, We're glad you made it tonight. Chrissy's joined us, KC8UFV. Good evening, Chrissy. It's good to see you too. And so we're just talking about Hamfest and who goes, which ones do you go to, and what do you enjoy doing when you're there? Do you attend forums? Do you just like to shop around? Do you like to hang out at the flea market and boneyard area, or that kind of thing? And so we're just going down the list here, and next up is, I don't know if, well, hang on a second here. I don't know if Ann has any additional comment, WB1ARU Ann. If you had something else you wanted to throw in here, please go ahead, Ann.
Okay, this is Melanie for a while. I'm going to jump in on here while I can real quick. We're waiting for Ann. Whoever is trying to reach the NF4GA repeater, somebody here in the North Atlanta, Georgia area may have their Vox on. Can you please check that? Can you please check your key if you're driving mobile? Can you please check your radio? You're keying up the repeater and you're interrupting the WileNet. So we respectfully ask you to check all that. Everybody out there within the reach of the NF4GA machine on Sweat Mountain, if you'll please check your Vox and check your transmit. And otherwise, I will have to disconnect the NF4GA repeater from this net, and everyone that's listening to it here in the area won't be able to anymore. So please help us not have to do that and check that. This is Melanie, AG4YL. Let me pass this to, let's see if Ann, WB1ARU. Are you there? And can you go ahead and try to pick it up and jump on in there? WB1ARU.
Usually I'm at the YLRL booth. That's usually where I end up holding up. I usually get a little bit of a tour around. The other Hamfest or convention or whatever you want to call it that I go to is the big New England one called Boxborough, which is Division I convention, Hamvention. And it's much like Dayton in terms of having a large flea market and vendor booths and forums. In fact, the first time I came to Dayton, I was surprised at the small number of forums because there are so many forums at Boxborough. But Dayton has increased enough and catching up with us. And the only I also went to Huntsville one year when the YLRL convention was there, and one time we were at the big European one that's held in Germany, Friedrichshafen, and also went to the ALRL 100 convention, which wasn't really a Hamfest. So I guess that's probably most of the ones I've been to. Oh, that's right. Jenny, I should apologize, because we went to the Great Britain's convention, which Hamfest, when we were there for the YL International Convention with Jenny. So I guess I've been to quite a few, but I like to go to forums, but over the years I found that I end up working in the booth more than I get a chance to go to forums. So I have attended some in the past. I'll get to the YL forum, usually because I've got something to do with it. And I'm going to time out. WB1ARU.
W5JR. Let me disconnect the 440 and 900, and I think that interference will go away.
All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, W5JR. Appreciate all your work with the repeaters, and thanks so much for monitoring this evening. We certainly appreciate it. We'll take just a moment here to thank the North Fulton Amateur Radio League. They link in their repeater and allow us to use their do-drop-in chat room, so we appreciate that. So thanks to all the support from you all. All right, very good. So thanks, Ann. Thanks for jumping in with your comments, and sounds like you guys have had some fun Hamfest experiences outside of the U.S. as well. That's really cool. Awesome. One of these days, who knows, maybe. Carol, ZA3WHU, let's go back to you. I think you mentioned you have another comment too, so let's go ahead and pass back to you and see if there's anything else that you had, Carol. I mean, maybe Carol stepped away there from the radio, and sounds like our interference has gone away. So, Mike, I think you might have hit that one. May just not need to connect those two going forward. That might solve our problem, which is great, because I think most of the folks that listen in from the North Fulton area do listen in on the 2-meter or 440, so mainly the 2-meter most likely. So very good. And yeah, we did get most of pretty much what you said there, so no problem. It dropped out but picked you back up, so I don't think we missed too much of anything. I think we got most of what you said. So no worries there, Ann. Thank you very much. All right, let's try Carol one more time in case maybe she made it back over to her iPad there. But Carol, if you had an additional comment, please go ahead. VA3WHU AC4YL with the group. Okay, not hearing Carol, so we will try her again once we wrap up going down the list here. Ann, KC1CRS is next. Ann, good evening. So what Hamfest have you attended, if any, and what activities do you like to do when you go to Hamfest? So KC1CRS, please go ahead from AC4YL in the group.
Hi, this is Ann. I like Foxborough. It's the only bigger Hamfest I've been to. That's where I signed up for the YLRL, and Nisi, I believe, gave me my first harmonics, and I like the forums. I really liked one we had on fox hunting because I really like fox hunting, and about contacts with the space station. So I've had a lot of fun at them. We have small local ones here too that I like, and usually at those we go shopping, my OM and I, for different parts and radio things we need to get some bargains. KC1CRS, back to the net.
Okay, very good, Ann. Well, awesome. So thanks so much for coming in and telling us about your Hamfest experiences. That's great. And one of these days, we need to make it up to Boxborough, and Ann talks about it every year. Should be cool. Let me just see here. 1 second. April, no, you're fine. What happens if you're on a computer and you are in Echolink? There's a limit to how many will actually show in the list. So you can't always see everybody that's in because the list will cut off because it doesn't give quite enough room. So you're still here with us. I can see you sent the message, but I don't see you in my list either. But obviously you're here with us. So I think the list cuts off after several. Like right now, it's showing we have 22 connections to the ALARA conference right now, and so you might be further down in the list than you see. Some other folks are also down under there, so no worries there. Alicia, AC1EW, has joined us this evening, and welcome to the net, and we're glad to have you here. We are just sharing our Hamfest experiences. If you attend Hamfest, which ones do you like to go to, and what do you like to do when you attend them, that kind of thing. So that's what we're talking about this evening, and we're just going down the list of gals as they checked in. So speaking of which, April, you're actually up next. So VE3BHG, do you attend any Hamfest there in your area, and what do you like to do when you go to the Hamfest? VE3BHG, AC4YL with the group.
Hello, thank you for having me this evening. I got in a little bit later, so the only event that I've been to that could resemble, it wasn't really called a Hamfest. We have our club NPark has a big event, and it was back in, oh, now I'm stuck because I know it was before I had my license. And it was how I found out about CLARA, which is the Canadian Ladies Amateur Radio Association. So I'm glad I went. It was not a huge event, but I'm so new at this that it's not really even on my radar yet, and I know it needs to be because I know I'd learn a lot. It's fun to hear about all the Hamfests that are in the area, and I guess in the summertime it's much easier to get to, or there's probably more of them. Dayton is, I think, probably about 5 hours from me. If I were at my daughter's place, probably a lot closer because she's in Windsor. I've been to Ohio, and from Windsor it's really not that far. So that would be something to check out because I guess it's the big one from what I can hear. And I haven't really, like I say, it's something I need to look into more. But I enjoyed just meeting the people and seeing what was on offer, and I gather there's lots more to do. So we do have an event coming up in June. We're doing a field day in the 22nd, 23rd of June, I think it is, nearby, and I'd like to get involved in that. So basically, Jenny, Windsor is about 2 hours south of London, I think. It's right across the river from Detroit, and my timer is going to time me out, so, sorry I don't have more to contribute, but anyways, I'm enjoying listening in, so this is VE3BHG, back to net control.
Oh, no worries at all there, April. Were you able to finish everything that you wanted to say? For you gals, when you set the timer, when it kind of warns you, if you're almost finished, just go ahead and just say that you're going to pause for a reset. You can unkey, and just wait about 3 to 5 seconds, and then go ahead and key back up and finish your thought, your comments there. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We just don't want the continuous transmission to where it times out any of the connected repeaters. So, April, if you had any other comment that you wanted to throw in, please go ahead. I'll pass it back to you, and if not, just let us know. VE3BHG AC4YL with the group.
VE3BHG. Actually, I'm enjoying the text conversation here because, yes, there's an awful lot of similar place names, same place names. And I grew up in a town called Smithville, and I know there's a Smithville somewhere in the States because I was talking on another net and they mentioned it. But yeah, it's fun, actually. You know, just I'm enjoying myself watching this. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to move closer to Windsor at some point. I'm kind of in, I guess you could call it the heart of Niagara here. Welland is central to an awful lot of places. We're about equidistant from Niagara Falls, St. Catharines, Fort Erie, you know. So for us, going that way over the river, it takes about 40 minutes. So the thing about Detroit is, you know, I mean, there's a lot of things, and a lot of people in Windsor go over the river regularly for shopping and events and whatever. So anyway, no, there really wasn't anything else about Hamfests because I haven't been to any really big events yet, and I'm hoping to. But like I said, I really was, you know, pretty well done what I wanted to say. So I'm going to go back to you folks and just enjoy listening in to what other people are talking about in their favorite Hamfests, because it's good to note these things and be able to maybe plan for them next year or whatever. So anyways, this is VE3BHG, back to the group.
All right, very good, April. Well, awesome. Yeah, it would be great to be able to catch up with you in Dayton sometime, and I'm not sure how close you are to Carol there, but maybe one of these days you two can get together and maybe meet up at a Hamfest. Maybe if there's one kind of halfway between the two of you, that's always fun too. At least when you go, you have somebody that you've talked to before that's there, and that makes it even more fun. So very good, April. Well, thanks so much for coming in and telling us about your other amateur radio events that you have been to. And Field Day is a great one. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun there. So very good. And yeah, you know, a lot of the fun is the people that you get to hang out with and see and connect with, and that's always a blast. All right, up next is Ann, W1AYL, out there in New Hampshire. So, Ann, what about you? What Hamfest have you attended, and what activities do you like to do when you go? W1AYL, AC4YL with the group.
W1AYL. Thank you, Catherine. The only one I've been to is the Near Fest that's here in New Hampshire. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time there, but I did meet Nisi there, and she was doing an awesome job for the YLRL. So I didn't have a lot of time, but I am excited that this year for Boxborough in Massachusetts in September, I'm actually not scheduled to work. And the working weekends can be a problem, but I'm actually free, so I'm hoping, and shouldn't be any reason why I can't be at the Boxborough convention in September. So I'm hoping to be there, and what I would look forward to, besides meeting up with some of you YLs, is going to some of the forums. I feel like I'm still new at this, and I would really benefit from the forums. So that's it. This is W1AYL, back to net control.
All right, very good, Ann. Well, awesome. so glad. Hopefully you'll get to make it to Boxborough and have some fun catching up with Ann and Nisi and the other gals that attend that one. And that sounds like a lot of fun. So hopefully you'll be able to make it to that one for sure. And yeah, forums are a lot of fun. And by the way, if you gals ever want, there's nothing wrong with starting up a forum if there isn't already one. And encourage the gals to come in and have some fun. And if there's an aspect of amateur radio that you thoroughly enjoy, maybe you really like contesting or you really like kit building, nobody says you can't run a YL forum and have some fun with the gals there, or even if it's just maybe a meet and greet for the YLs to get together and kind of have some time on their own to share how they got licensed, how they got interested in amateur radio, and the different activities that they like to do. Something like that is just, it can be very interesting and a lot of fun. So if there is not a YL forum and it's a fairly large hamfest that you attend, and there are a few YLs there, and why not just take the opportunity to run your own forum and encourage and invite the YLs to attend it. So. All right, very good. Well, thanks, Ann. Good to hear from you this evening. Chrissy is up next, KC8UFV. Chrissy, what hamfest have you attended or do you like to attend, and what activities do you like to participate in when you are at these hamfests? KC8UFV, AAC4YL with the group.
Well, different hamfest, different things. With the TMRA hamfest, which is our local hamfest here in Toledo, I end up running talk-in every year, so I'm busy till about 10:30, 11 o'clock when we don't get anybody asking for directions anymore. There's at Dayton. It's been a few years since I've been to Dayton, so it was still at Hera last I went. I like going around. I love browsing the flea market, seeing what all interesting stuff that can be found that you don't see every day. Also, at Dayton, I like the forum, like going to different forums. I've got a few that I've got on my schedule for tomorrow. I'm just going to get up extra early and drive down in the morning. But of course, got to see the vendors. I also go to some of the various smaller hamfests in the southeast Michigan and northern Ohio area, and it's nice meeting other people that I don't get to see too often, and again, browsing around, seeing what interesting things there are. So I think at this point I'm going to go back, turn it back over to Net Control, KC8UFV.
All right, well, cool, Chrissy. Awesome. Well, yeah, I think the last time that the Hamvention was at Hera was 2 years ago. Last year was their first year at the Greene County Fairgrounds in Xenia, and so this is the second year. So, for you gals attending, looking forward to hearing some feedback from you all on your experiences there, especially in the flea market area where they had some issues with the rain last year. So they did have some challenges, but I'll tell you what, they worked extremely hard to throw that together, and Dara does such a wonderful job, and all the volunteers there do such a wonderful job. It takes a whole lot of work to plan and get an event of that magnitude together, and to arrange all of that, and so I think they did a fantastic job considering the circumstances they were in getting that together in 1 year. And was everything perfect? No. Were there some points that they had to learn, unfortunately, in a difficult way? Yes. But I think, again, they did such a fantastic job working with what they had for their first year at a new venue. So it'll be cool. I hate to miss this year, but looking forward to hearing from those of you that were there last year, Ann and Linda, and the other gals that were there last year, about the changes that they were able to make for this year, and if the experience changed at all. Other than the YLRL booth will be inside this year, so I'm sure that's a welcome change. The tent wasn't that bad, but all right. Very good. So next up, I have Alicia here, and Alicia, hopefully I'm not putting you on the spot too much, but congratulations on getting your extra. Looks like you just got that earlier this month, so that's fantastic. So if you're comfortable coming on and telling us what Ham Fest you've gone to, and if any, and any activities that you like to do there, and anything else you'd like to say to the group, please go ahead. AC1EW, AC4YL in the group.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, thank you for all of the congrats. It was exciting to get through the extra, and I just got the new call sign. I first got my technician license back last September, I think it was. And frankly, I haven't had a chance to get to any of the Ham Fest yet since that time. I really wish I could go to Dayton, but we're actually preparing to go on a 2-month road trip heading out west from Massachusetts. We go south through Shenandoah and the Smoky Mountains and Memphis, and we end up out in Utah, southern Utah, and then we turn around and come back. So that's kind of exciting, but I really wish I could have been going to Dayton at the same time. I do hope to get to Foxborough and look forward to more interaction in the future. It's AC1EW and back to the net.
All right. Well, fantastic, Alicia. Again, congratulations, and we're glad to have you here on the net with us. So that's great. Hopefully you can make it here regularly. We meet here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the ALARA Conference. And sounds like you guys are going to have a fun road trip. Take your phone and all that with you, and you can always connect to ham radio via Echolink as well as HTs, and take that on the go with you too. That's always fun. And so very good. Again, we're glad to have you here, and hope you can make it here regularly. And who knows, maybe we'll run into you in Boxborough one year, and you got 12 months to plan for next year Dayton, right? So if you start planning now, well, maybe after you get back from your 2-month road trip might make more sense. But all right, very good. Let's go to Melanie now, because she's the one that came up with this fun topic. So let's hear from her. AG4YL, tell us about your Ham Fest experiences.
Okay, I think I have it, AG4YL here. Well, okay. So my Ham Fest experience is my first Ham Fest was the Atlanta Ham Fest in June of 2015, and it was really neat because I had been on this net. I got my license, took my general license in December of 2014, and got right onto this net that Catherine had started. And I didn't have a radio. I didn't have any of that. I didn't know any hams. I've never met any hams since I was a kid of the friends of my dad's. So not that I knew of, let's put it that way. And So, you know, I was in my, I'm trying to remember if I was 49 or 50 by the time I got my license. So, yeah, you can go ahead and do the math real quick. Okay, it's 1965, right? And so I was kind of, I wanted to go to this Hamfest because it's not very far from where I live, actually, in Marietta. It's in Marietta, even though it's the Atlanta Hamfest, and it's very close. And I thought about going in 2014, but again, I'd never been to a Hamfest. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know anybody there. I didn't know any hams, and then I actually got my license and got on this net, and found out that Catherine was going to be at that Hamfest. And I was going to be there because I had joined a club that I could almost walk to get to the meetings. Now, that wasn't a good fit for me. However, the club is one of the co-sponsors of the Atlanta Hamfest, so I ended up being recruited to help them out at setting up slots for the Boneyard early in the morning. So while I went there to work, that really didn't take very long, and I had a run at the Hamfest. Didn't have to pay to get in, and I'm like, woohoo, my first Hamfest, and that's where I got to meet all these cool local YLs and other hams. Pause for reset. And so that's when I finally, after like what 7 months worth of this net, participating on the net, I actually got to meet Catherine. So I had an eyeball QSO with her, and with a few of the other gals on the net, and some other local YLs from several different clubs, because a lot of people from different clubs, they all go to each other's Hamfests around here. So that was just, and got to see the tables, and got to see the stuff, and got to talk to people, and it was so exciting for me. My favorite Hamfests have been Huntsville. I've always really enjoyed Huntsville. Last year, Huntsville was a little weird because Charlie, who had really made Huntsville, had passed away unexpectedly, and the air, the atmosphere, everything was just very dreary and cloudy and sad. And Huntsville is otherwise just one of the most wonderful Hamfests ever. If you can ever go to Huntsville, it's very, very nice. They tout themselves as the friendliest Hamfest, and they really are. The people there are just wonderful. But like I said, last year it was weird. Catherine and I have been doing forums there for a couple of years now. So I have no doubt we'll do another one there this year. They're very good. They're very professional. It's very put together. And here's the bonus. Everything is under the one roof. And you can get to all of the forums, all of the testing, all of the flea market and tailgating is all under, it's all in the Von Braun Center, which is huge. It's all under the roof. And so you can move from one section to the other. You can go to the dealers. You can go to the tables. You can go to the swap. You can go to the tailgating. You can go to the forums. You can go to the testing. And you can do it all under the roof. So the weather is never a problem there. And that's a really very nice. It's awesome. We pause. I'll be right back. And I've been to Dayton in 16 when the last year that it was at the Hara. I didn't know it was the last year then, but I'm certain my dad made trips to Dayton. He was a ham's ham back in the day, so I'm certain he made more than one trip down to Dayton. So it was neat, and it would have been at Hara, so it was kind of neat to be there, and then finding out later that was the last year they were going to have it. And then I went last year at the new location in Xenia, and I encourage everybody that's in Dayton, if you're still hanging in there with us, go take a tour of the DARA Clubhouse, the Dayton Amateur Radio Association Clubhouse. You can even be a member and get the RF carrier. It's not expensive at all, and you get a gate code and a card, and you can, whenever you're in that area, you can go and play radio. It is impressive. So if you want to see what kind of like, my dream club has always been, go to the DARA Clubhouse. They do tours. I think it's usually on Saturday. They'll do a clubhouse tour. It's absolutely worth it. You get to see, they've got repeaters, and they've got amazing operating rooms and amazing work areas. It's just insane. It's so awesome. It's so dang cool. It's a dream club shack. I'm just going to tell you right now. So go to DARA. Go to the DARA tour. Even if there's not a tour, you can probably still go, and there'll always be somebody there during Hamfest weekend. But anyway, that's it for me. Bucket list, I don't know if I have one. I'd like to get out to Pacificon, the one in Texas, Boxborough, Hamfest. They're always a lot of fun. But I love Dayton. I'm completely heartbroken that I can't go this year. It's really a total bummer because I really love that Hamfest, and I like DARA. So that's it for me. I'll send this back over to Net Control. This is AG4YL.
All right, awesome, Melanie. Well, thanks so much for telling us all about that. That's lots of cool stuff, and there's some chatting going on about Huntsville. You got that going and rolling. So, yeah, hopefully we will make it to Huntsville this year, and that's a fun Hamfest. And real quick, I'll try and wrap this up. So for me, my first Hamfest was actually Stone Mountain. I got licensed in September of 2013. And Stone Mountain is a Hamfest that happens every November. It's fairly large. It's here in Georgia. And so that was my first Hamfest, and attended my first forum there, too, actually, on satellite operating. And funny, I first met Lori, K4UPI, and her OM Daryl there. And I think he had just changed his call sign to K4RGK. So got to meet them and some other club members here, part of North Fulton. And that was a fun first Hamfest. And I enjoyed that. And of course, the following year was a lot more fun as I got to get to know the local ham community and see more Hamfests and see more people I knew there. That just added to the enjoyment of Hamfest. So, anyways, a lot of fun. Forums are fun if you can get to them and remember what time they start. You don't get too busy shopping around, or as Linda said, drooling over the expensive items like we all do. So anyway, very good. A great net tonight. Thanks so much, ladies, for taking time out of your evening to be here, especially you gals that are traveling. And we hope you have a fun time this weekend. Stay safe. And again, please share lots of pictures on the WildOpNet Facebook group. I'm sure there will be quite a few posted on the WildRL Facebook group as well. And don't forget about the WildOpsGroups.io. You can post over there. So with that, let's go ahead and close out the net. Do we have any YLs who have not checked in yet this evening? Please go ahead and do so now.
And guess what? I have remained awake. That is a minor miracle in itself. Back to you, Kat.
We're so glad, Jenny, and now you can go rest. So have a good night's sleep there, Jenny, and all the best to you and all the YLs here. Thanks so much, ladies, for being here, and OMs that are listening in. Thank you for your support. Again, please don't forget to visit and post on the WildOpNet Facebook group and the WildOpsGroups.io group. We'd like to thank Lauren, KC9ZHV, for live streaming and recording of this net whenever possible and making it available through YouTube. and our WildOpNet YouTube channel. We would also like to thank ALARA for the use of this Echolink conference node, North Fulton Amateur Radio League for their do-drop-in chat room, and all of you who are linked in listening for your ongoing support of this net. This is Catherine, AAC4YL, officially closing out the WildOpNet, returning the ALARA conference node back to normal use. 33 ladies, thank you so much. We'll catch y'all next week. Take care.
33 everybody from Florida, from WA4YL.